I got some new used stamps for my collection. Let me show you how I clean them up. Hello everybody, it's Julia Laird and welcome to Senior Susie Stamps. It's Sunday, so today is Sunday with Susie. I'm recording this early since, I'm going to be out of commission for a few weeks. And I wanted to show you, I got some stamps in. Those of you who watch this channel know that I buy a lot of used stamps. And so I got all these stamps for a really reasonable price from one vendor on eBay, and she was gracious enough to combine shipping, so my shipping was very reasonable. And now today I wanted to show you what I do with these stamps and how I clean stamps just in general. I've got some baby wipes here, and incidentally, these are Amazon Basic flushable wipes. I won't ever get them again when I get these used up because they kind of flake off a little bit on things, and I'm just not very happy with them. Just word to the wise. I have a Stampin' Scrub. This is, in my opinion, the best stamp cleaning tool available, period, end. No questions asked. I've got some 91% isopropyl alcohol in a spray bottle. And I have a little bottle that has water in it and 10 drops of glycerin. And I get this glycerin from Walmart. It's not expensive, and you get it over in the pharmacy department. So that's what's in this bottle here. Now, when I have stamps that come in, what I typically do is just wipe the wood part just to get a little grunge off of them if there is anything. And if there's any little labels or tags or anything that need to be pulled off. And at this point then, I'm going to check the foam and make sure that the foam is still viable. And if it isn't, then I know I'm going to have to pull it and put it on some easy foam, and there's some videos about that, so we don't need to go into that here now. But I thought this was a cool stamp. It's a little scalloped ribbon. So this is my first step, is to wipe all the wood parts of the stamps down. So let's keep moving on, because you don't need to see me wipe all those down. Look at this little guy. Is he cute or what? It's an Inkadinkadoo stamp. I wish the stamp companies would all put the years on them, because I kind of like to know the age of the stamps that I've got, but it's okay. So then what I do is I take my Stampin' Scrub, and this is the way I clean my stamps routinely. I look for the side that has the little water droplets on it. In this little corner, there's one that has water droplets and one that has a little sunshine. So this is the dry side, and this is the side that I add my liquids to. And I'll take my alcohol and spray it on one half, and take my glycerin, water with glycerin, and spray it on the other half. And I do a good soak and spray on my stamp cleaning pad. Then I do the alcohol first in a number 8 motion, like that. And then I go to the water, and you can feel there's a difference in the drag on these. And then I do on the dry side. And if there's any moisture on the wood, then I'll wipe it off with my little wipe here. And on big stamps, you just have to kind of work your way through them. But I always end up with my glycerin water to rinse that alcohol off. And it's a nice clean stamp. I was going to see if there was any of these that were kind of grungy. Here's one that's a little grungy, and here's one that's got some ink on it. And here's one that's got a lot of ink on it. Let's see on this one in particular. Sometimes the alcohol will clean up some of this black, and sometimes it doesn't. It just kind of depends on the type of ink that was used on it in the past. And it does not look like this one is going to, but that's okay. We're still getting any residual off and cleaning that rubber. And there we go. And you can see that rubber is nice and clean. Now, it's an old used stamp, but look at that font. Isn't that just wonderful? I'm tickled with that. This one is Stampabilities, and it is Happy Birthday number 10. Let's see if any of this black will come off. But it's all right. If they're stained up and they're still stamping well, then it doesn't matter. And a little bit of this, I believe, came off. I'm going to try some alcohol directly on that and just see what it does. There. And you can see why I don't like those baby wipes, because they leave little fuzzies. And now I'm going to go back over to the water and glycerin. Now, I've been cleaning my stamps like this for years and haven't had any trouble with it. But you know, manufacturer warranties being what they are, you'll have to take your own choice on that. But that's a good clean stamp now. Let's try this one, because there's a little grungy stuff kind of built up down in the bottom of that. But you can see that little kind of figure 8 motion that I'm doing there. It kind of gets all the surfaces done well. And there we go. So let's stamp some of these and see how they do. Just because I'm curious. Aren't you curious? I want to see. Let's just take some scrap papers here out of my white scrap bin and do some stamping. I'm going to use my VersaFine. And let's try this Happy Birthday. And there it is. Let's do the hearts. Didn't get quite as good an impression. Let me get my stamp pad, and I'll put it right underneath that. Now this is a mouse pad that I've just cut in half to make it a more manageable size for me. And let's just try again. I'd really rather not pull this stamp if I don't have to. And there we go. Okay, now I'm going to set this over here, and we'll come back to that in just a minute. Let's see how my little bird guy does. Isn't he cute? You can see I've got VersaFine all over these. And if you use just plain water on them, they really are a little challenging to get clean. But when I use the alcohol first, and then the glycerin water, and there it is, nice and clean. And they'll all come nice and clean. If they started clean, they'll come clean. So that's how I clean my stamps and how I process new stamps coming into the studio. And I thought you might like to see that and encourage you to look for some used stamps. They're a little less expensive typically. And if you find a vendor that will combine shipping, they really can save you some money that way. Oh, I should mention to you also that about once a month, or maybe a little more often, I take this down to the kitchen sink and pull these pads out. You can lift them up. They've got a little cut on one corner, And you can lift them up carefully around these little pegs and just take them down. And I use a little scrub brush and some Blue Dawn. And I'll scrub that and rinse them and let them dry thoroughly. And then I'll come back with a lint roller and roll up all of these little lint pieces and loose fibers. And that cleans these pads, and they're good to go again for another month. So, this is Julia, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.